Hi guys, Jackson Strut here, aka the Groove Antenna, with a quick little guide on how I master most of my DJ sets, specifically for streaming. I've been mastering sets for probably since about 2005, mostly vinyl back then. Now it's a lot of digital, but still some vinyl. So let's get into it. Step one, obviously, open your set. Once it loads, I always hit Control F to fit it to screen, and then I'll drag this down here to get myself the most viewing area I can. So first thing you want to do is trim your start point and your end point. So this set starts right at the beginning of where I wanted it to start. But if you if you wanted to trim something out of a longer set, obviously set your beginning point where you want. Cut your end point off where you would like it. Something right about there works for me. Control F again to fit that back to screen. Now, the first thing I do after I trim, next step I always do, Control A, select everything, effect. I do a high pass filter, so that's what we want, high pass filter. I high pass filter everything past 30 hertz with the steepest roll off I can, 48 decibels. And what this is going to do is cut out everything below 30 hertz, which humans can't hear anyway. And it's going to give you a more headroom. So everything's going to sound louder. And it's going to cut off any rumble from, let's say, some turntable rumble, anything along those lines. So just nasty stuff you don't need in your recording. Unless you're playing at, I don't know, a massive club system, which I doubt you're doing with a DJ recording. So there we go. So step two for me, I always hard limit. And a hard limit just to cut off. You see that little peak right there is, I don't know what that was, a glitch or something. I have no idea. I hit an effect. Fuck those. So yeah, we're going to hard limit it. And in order to get your idea of where you're setting your hard limit, I always just go to a spot of where it's pretty loud for what I'm playing, like the loudest consistent audio. So let's say right about there is probably it for me. We'll play this for a second and monitor our output up here. So looks like it's somewhere right around 7.5 decibels maybe. So again, Control A, effect, limiter. Oh, I should mention I'm using Audacity for this, obviously. The guide would be different for another program. I have it set to minus 7.3 decibels right now. So we are going to go with that on hard clip setting. So hard clip is going to cut everything off above. It's not going to compress anything. I don't want to compress anything. These are all mastered tracks, which I've either made myself or bought from Track Source, whatever. They're already compressed tracks. There's no need to over compress them again. It's just pointless. So, okay. And la-da-da-da-da goes along here. And if you used like a soft clip or a compressor for this, it would work, but then you're just recompressing already compressed material. In my opinion, it's going to muddy stuff up. Have at it whatever way you like, really, or you'll find very many varying opinions on this. This is what I like to do. I like my DJ sets to actually have peaks and valleys because that's how they sound live, not just to be one squished waveform that just looks flat. So you see, I just cut off the tips there. You can see right there, I cut a little bit off. But for the most part, here's the before, and here's the after, before, and after. So you notice I didn't really cut much off, just the very peaks, and that's what you want to do. You don't want to cut this to one flat square because then you've chopped a bunch off. All right, and the last step you got to do if you're doing it this way is normalize it. And I use, for streaming specifically, I use loudness normalization. I use perceived loudness to 14 or to minus 14 LUFS. I do stereo channels independently, and I treat mono as dual mono. And the reason I go to minus 14 LUFS is because that's what YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, whoever you're uploading to for streaming, that's the accepted level that they want now for loudness. If you go to minus 14 LUFS, they won't recompress your audio. They won't crunch it more. If you master it louder, which if I wasn't mastering for streaming, I would do, you're then going to have the streaming service recompress your audio, and that could add any kind of artifact. I really don't know. This way, I've done all the compressing on the audio myself. They're not going to recompress it. That's what you're going to get. So there's what I end up with. As you can see, it maintains the peaks and valleys. Now this DJ set, obviously my levels were fairly good all throughout. It was not, there's not like crazy up and downs throughout the whole thing. This is an hour and 40-ish minute DJ set. That's pretty much all throughout. If you were to have major track differences, say you get different DJs playing during the set and they're dropping their levels tremendously, you might want to go through and amplify individual portions. Say, I don't mind this lull here. It's what I played, but say if that was an hour long, you want to increase it, you can amplify that. But that is not something that I need to do in this particular set. Finally, I just export my wave output. So for me, let's save it as Clary's B-Day 1, 2020. Obviously, this is a set I recorded on my roommate's birthday. I use signed 24-bit PCM. That's my preferred option, and I always output at 48,000 hertz as opposed to 44.1. So I'm not putting it to a CD. So if you're mastering for CD, go for 44.1. But 24-bit 48K works very well for uploads to a streaming service. Next, obviously save. Fill out whatever you're going to do in here. We'll skip that for now. Okay. And that is it. You are done. Obviously, give a listen. It should sound fantastic. Thanks very much for tuning in. Again, I'm Jackson Strutt, aka the Groove Antenna. Longtime DJ, 5-year music producer. Check me out on SoundCloud if you want. Right here at www.soundcloud.com/JacksonStrut. Feel free to email me or message if you have any questions. And yeah, you don't need to watch this overline. Have a good day. Bye now. Thanks. Oh yes, subscribe if you like the video.